Real Estate Moms Unscripted, and I have the pleasure of introducing our guest today, which is Eddie Rutledge with Home Lending Source.
Morning,
Hey,
everybody.
Eddie.
Hello.
Happy to have you on.
Hey,
This
Eddie.
is exciting.
So,
Yeah,
Eddie,
I'm
before
very
we get
excited.
started on like serious stuff, I have a story to tell you about Sarah.
Oh, geez. Wait, I did not approve of any stories to be told.
You're
I'm
gonna
scared.
love this. Okay,
Oh,
so I
boy.
just recently visited Sarah in New York. It was a surprise visit, and one of the nights we went out dancing. Now, you would think that we would be together, that we would spend a ton of money on drinks or a ton of money on food, which is normally what we do, right?
True.
Not this night. Not this night. We were balling on the jukebox, okay? Sarah,
Oh, my
tell them your
God.
bill from the jukebox.
Dawn, so I didn't even tell you the rest of the bill because charges kept coming through all the way till Tuesday. We spent $140 on jukebox money. Literally dancing for like, what was it? Like 9 to like 3 in the morning, I think it was.
She's like, I don't want to confess this on tape.
I think that's
I think I
okay.
told-
I think you could have spent a little bit more. Maybe you can set a goal for $1,000.
Oh my, well, Dawn couldn't walk the next day, so I'm not sure she could have danced anymore.
I don't know. She's
texted me
Zumba
from the bed.
kickboxes.
No, she's texting me from the bed going, I can't move my legs. Bring me breakfast. I can't move my legs. Here I am out showing properties, meeting a photographer. Dawn's like, somebody save me. But then we replayed the videos that some of us got from Dawn dancing. I think she did 1,000 squats during like one song. I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to move my legs either. It was pretty intense.
Listen, that's pretty
Unbelievable.
much all my dance moves is squats.
We had the best time though. I think we made people jealous, honestly.
Yeah, Eddie, next time you'll have to go out dancing with us.
Oh my God, I would love to go kickbox dancing with you.
Oh,
Yes.
it
Let's
was-
go.
it was
I'm coming to
fun.
visit. I'm gonna come visit.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was fun. It was a blast. So, Eddie, tell us a little bit about Home Lending Source and what you do there.
All right. Well, we're mortgage brokers. We find the best deal for our consumers, and we like to wow everybody.
Yes.
It's a pretty fairly easy process. You know, one of the great things is that the market has definitely changed a lot for the mortgage industry, and we've evolved quite a bit to try to adapt to it. I mean, it's you know, as everybody knows, interest rates have been they were rising, and we were promised lower rates. We're not getting lower rates. Certain things, people's expenses have gone up, and we've adjusted by, you know, for example, you know, FHA now has an FHA 200, where if the customer doesn't have their own 3.5% down, they can get a grant for that. There's no income limits on that.
Wow.
And it's you don't even have to be a first-time home buyer in order to qualify. So it's we've definitely adapting to the current market conditions, and we're still helping first-time home buyers get into new homes.
Nice.
I love it. And I do think,
Yeah.
I think, especially more than anyone through this whole market craziness, that it's been the mortgage brokers, lenders that have really had to be creative with how they're getting money, because buyers are figuring it out one way or another, and the mortgage brokers are literally bending over backwards. So, I mean, I don't know how it is there, but I know I send buyers nonstop to my lenders, and just to have them do all the work of like the pre-approvals and all that stuff, just to have the buyers keep losing out on deals. So it's a lot of work that you guys are doing for nothing sometimes, because we need to get these buyers in homes. But, you know, so you guys really have had to be
You
creative.
guys mind if I toot my horn on something that we pulled together this morning?
No,
No, please
please
do.
tell us.
As we know, buyers are shopping. And we had a customer come to us, and they said, hey, we've got a loan offer from U.S. Bank. It's at 5.99 for a 20-year. And we wanted to know what you could do to beat it. And they were needing about $207,000 to close. We got in. I got a little bit creative. We've got them a 15-year mortgage at 4.99. We cut 5 years off of their mortgage. We cut
Wow.
$300 off of their payment, and we cut $5,000 off of their cash to close. So, woo!
Congratulations. That
That's
is something to
awesome.
definitely toot your horn about. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that you say that they were pre-approved with somebody else in a mortgage, because like I'm constantly telling people, like, shop around. Just because you bank with a certain bank doesn't mean they're going to give you the best deal for, you know, for you. Like,
Yeah.
shop around, take, you know, and you know, I'm sure Dawn sends people your way nonstop, but buyers definitely need to shop to see what's going to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
work best
the one
for them.
thing I love about Eddie and Home Lending Source is, well, first of all, they're my go-to guy, but they're honest with the clients. And if they can't beat it or do it better, then they tell them. They don't beat around the bush. They're honest with the clients. They tell them, okay, well, so-and-so can obviously beat us, you know, or whatever it is, which doesn't happen very often. But, you know, that's what I love about you guys, is just the honesty. And first of all, you guys are on top of everything. Like, my God, you know, anytime I have a question, day or night, I call Home Lending Source. It doesn't matter, anybody on the team, they answer, they, you know, help me, walk me through it or whatever. And I love that you guys show up to my closings and really just support my clients, which is amazing. Well, our clients, because, you know, not a lot of other closing companies do that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for those nice words, Dawn.
Yeah,
What,
absolutely.
Eddie, what is your, like, from the minute you get a mortgage application, what's the time frame to when you're sending out a commitment letter?
All right.
Are we all rocking? Like,
you know,
everybody's in their chair.
I'm not sure if you're in here or not, because it's exactly where I was going. Christy in my office, she got a contract, and it was 6 days ago, and they have an honor before closing date of the 5th of next month, and they're clear to close, and we are chomping at the bit to go ahead and close. So on average, just not even commitment, but I'm chalking ready to go, balancing with title, is less than 10 business days with my particular group.
That's amazing.
They've been with me for years in and years out, even, you know, when I worked at other companies. So, and they care just as much. You know, one of the biggest things I tell people is, everybody can do the job, but not everybody can do the job with pride. And so, shout out to my team and the great job that they do, and obviously you ladies, and making sure that they're able to get to us, because, as you know, it's not always the cheapest rate. It's the most affordable loan option and less expense to the customer. And knowing that we're going to be there in the long haul, long after their loan is closed. So we have people that call us all the time about, hey, my kids in college, they want to buy their first home. They don't have a job. There's no way they can do that, can they? And I go, not with that attitude. You need to listen to us, because there's a way to get it done, and we'll make it happen. And and once we explain it to them, they're, you know, people are totally surprised of the different options that are available, even for a student in college.
Yes, I love that.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I have a fun question for you, Eddie. What is, because I always ask this question to everybody on our podcast, and Sarah, what is the craziest or funniest mortgage story you can tell us? It could be crazy, it could be bad, it could be good. Something juicy, please.
This is juicy. So, we have all different walks of life that you know, apply for a mortgage. There is no discrimination against sex, race, religion, or any of these things. But sometimes, one particular time, so I had a customer apply for a loan, and I took a look at the credit, and I went over the things on there that were affecting the person's credit. And instead of just saying, hey, you've got bad credit, we can't help you, I tried to counsel the customer on the credit. And the customer, at the end of me going over their entire credit report, says to me this: let me give you another Social Security number and try this one.
Oh, that's how it works.
Is this yours? And the answer was, it could be mine if it helps the situation. And obviously, that's not something that we could do. We request copies of your government photo ID. We request
Yeah.
copies of your social security card. You have to be who that you say you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, yeah, that's creativity. Thank you, Miami.
Yeah, that's
creative
insane.
thinking outside the box, I guess.
Well, and so
Or wanting to
prideful to
get in a
just,
box.
Yeah. Oh, God,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, telling me, Eddie, use your cell. And I think they were talking about prison is where they wanted me. But
Oh my
Maybe that's the home they were looking at. They were trying to get a loan for the prison.
I think we could have helped him.
Oh my God, that is so insane. So speaking
Oh.
of credit scores, because I know here in New York that we have some lenders that are being creative with those too. What is the lowest credit score that your firm deals with?
How about no credit score?
Really?
Wow.
Absolutely. Some of the things that we can do is we can do non-traditional credit. So if you have a light bill, you have a phone bill, you have car insurance, you get me the history of that stuff, and we create a credit profile for you.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That is
But now,
amazing.
as far as 550, and for VA down to 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And
Very
then what was
cool.
the other question I was going to ask you? Oh, what is the number one thing, because I just want to see if I'm right when I'm telling my buyers the same thing. What's the number one thing you tell somebody when they call you and they're like, I want to get a pre-approval. What do I need to do? You pre-approve them. What's the number one thing they should not do while going through the home buying process?
Shop with any other mortgage broker or real estate agent.
Yes.
I honestly, I like to, I like to first of all, set the mind at ease with the consumer in their selection of the real estate agent. I like to go over just the information about them, possibly their negotiation skills, what sets the real estate agent apart from other people. And I know exactly
Yes.
where you're going and say, don't buy a car, don't change a job, don't do all of those different things. And yes, during the process, we continue to do that. Some of the videos that we have is the Cadillac's going to have to wait, and your new ninja career, put that on hold for right now. But that's a great point that you're bringing up. I don't think that we see it as much anymore because of the way that we drive it home, not only at the initial application, but during the process over and over
Throughout.
with the customer. So, stage one, pre-approval stage, don't change your job. Stage two, loan commitment stage, don't change your job, don't spend your money, don't get any more credit. Those different things that we go over them. And we do tell people, say, listen, we do understand that life comes at you pretty fast. You're looking at getting a new home. You want to get new furniture. You want to get new appliances. You want to do these remodels. You've got credit cards that are offers at 0% and all of these different things. And what I'll tell them is I'll say, I'm not telling you no, you can't do that. I'm asking you to consult with us prior to, so we can tell you the documentation that you're going to have to provide when you take that step in order to prevent any delays in your closing during the process. So doesn't mean that you absolutely can't buy a car. However, if you do, I'm going to give you the paperwork that you're going to need to put together for me in order for us to calculate that debt and maintain your current ratios and keep your loan moving in that process. Because sometimes you need a new Corvette. You just do.
You just need a new Corvette. I mean,
Or you need to dance till 3 a.m, and spend all that money on a credit card.
No, I had a deal and it was the saddest situation. And it was lack of communication. I believe it was on all parties, not blaming anybody, but my buyers went out and to a rent-a-center day before closing and got their washer and dryer, got their couch, their dining room set, got their bedroom set. They got all of this stuff at Rent-A-Center and killed their deal. We weren't able to close the next day. They lost their finance when it went to underwriting for final review. Like, it was wiped out. It changed their credit that drastically. that
Wow.
and it was sad. It was sad. We had to start from scratch with everything again. And
Yeah.
it took about a year and a half. They lost that house, obviously. But it was a good learning experience for me. I mean, that's the number one thing I drive into people now. Like, do not spend your money. Just do
Yeah.
not.
Now,
Yeah.
one of the things I, and it's sad to say, but when the turmoil hits me, when the stress hits me, I love to come up with solutions. You know, things that could have probably been looked at. And as you guys know, and well, Dawn especially knows, let's say that a customer puts himself in that situation. They've increased their debt to income ratio, but they may have a car payment. Let's say that they were putting 10% down, and they have a car payment on there that's $400 a month. Their rent-a-center payment is there. Oh, I love to see your cat. The
She
rent-a-center
likes to join us.
payment is there. And I'd say, hey, listen, instead of you doing 10% down, we're going to do a change of circumstance. Let's change that to 5% down. Let's pay off that car. Let me fix this. Let's continue with your dream. And I will go through every mortgage surgeon resolution possible before I let anybody go. I will contact the listing agent and work with the listing agent to try to show them that, listen, I understand there's been some, some changes that has happened, but here's the solution. This is how much time we need it. Pretty, please give us that extra few days. Let me work through that. And what's great to know is just like when we submit loans for clear to closes, guys, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 hours on most for us to get that answer back, whether it says, hey, your customer went out and got a rent-a-center thing.
Okay.
So you don't have to wait that 3 days. The other thing is we're not putting ourselves in a position to where we're not processing based on a closing date. We're processing based on the time that it comes in, customer pick insurance. Let's get the survey. Let's get our title back. Let's get our verification of employment. Let's get our tax transcripts. Let's get everything done. So the only thing that can ever affect them is if they quit their job, got fired, or bought a Lamborghini, because that should probably throw everybody's.
So they can get the Corvette. We can get a Corvette, just not a Lamborghini.
Just not the Lamborghini.
No, Lamborghini. They're asking. Yeah, Italian money's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
That is good to know.
Yeah. That's
I was
awesome.
just looking at
So Eddie, what's the quickest you can close the deal?
Well, sometimes if there's no appraisal, 7 days.
Okay.
And the only reason that we are subject to that is because of TRID.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
Can I send deals from New York to you? Because it takes us like 60.
Well, you're in New York.
Is 60 days.
You're in New York. So
I know.
You're in New York. You're in New York.
Yeah,
it's a whole different world over there.
Can you just do the bank side in Florida?
Well, you know what? And honestly, I sit there and I say, you're in New York, so we can't help you. But I believe we have half of New York's population here. So I think indirectly I'm helping New York.
I think so too. I agree.
Yeah.
And now that I've met you, when I know people are going down to buy winter homes, I'm going to send them your way.
Awesome.
For sure.
Hopefully you would send them to Dawn.
Yes.
That you could get them in.
I am your twin, so hello.
Yeah, that was kind of weird when I first got on and I seen 2 Dawns. I was like, what's going on? And then you guys coordinated your shirts and everything. I was just... And I never got the thing about the white shirt. I never got the white shirt thing. Nobody even mentioned it. So now here I am with all the stripes on.
The stripes.
We're in each other's heads sometimes, I swear.
We are.
Especially after this
here's
past
another
weekend.
question for you, Eddie. Have you ever done a mortgage for a famous person? And if not, who would you choose to do a mortgage for that is famous?
Okay, so I would love to answer what famous person I've done mortgages for, but due to privacy laws, I'm unable to disclose that information to you. So if you were to ask me what famous person that I would want to do a mortgage for,
yes.
How about Hugh Hefner?
Wow.
Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I'm
only so
thinking
you can see only so you can meet the bunnies.
Oh my God, I can't believe you would say that and be so accurate.
I just
Yes,
went there.
absolutely. I would love to go to that closing. I'm just not sure if we would actually, you know, if he had any questions in terms of the documents, I could probably answer those relatively quickly. But I'd probably want to hear a lot of grotto stories. I'd like to know what happens at the pool.
At
Um,
the,
yeah,
you,
maybe let me just phone through your pictures on your phone while you guys are closing or whatever. So, is that the
okay, not
wrong
gonna lie,
answer?
I'd be at that closing too, I'm sure.
Because you'd be the real estate agent, obviously.
Well, you would
Obviously.
be, especially down there. I'd
Well,
bring
I
just your
mean, they
twin.
would need two Playboy bunnies. I mean, real estate agents. My bad.
I'd show up with the
Wow.
ears on.
Wow.
The twins. Here
Wow.
comes the twins.
Talk
The
about the
legit
best tea
twins.
you could drink, modest tea.
Woo!
Oh my God,
That
that's
is
so
so
funny.
funny. Oh my God. So, Sarah, anything crazy happening this week, or how's real estate going with you?
Oh, real estate's going good. So I
That
had
did
to
not convince me at all.
well, I had to switch my schedule around. So we got some snow last night. Kids had a snow day
Oh,
today.
crap.
So school was canceled. So I had a few showings that I know, well, that's what they're doing. I'm going, okay, they're like, I'm hungry. Can we do this? I'm like, no, I still have to work. So I was supposed to, it's the weirdest thing. I was supposed to have a closing on land today and closing on this investment property that I have. It's a 5-unit investment property. These people have been living in it for 5 years, like all 5 units without paying rent. So it's pretty
Wow.
much like a squatter's house.
Yeah.
And so we thought we had them all evicted and out, and come to find out this morning, there's new squatters squatting in 2 of the units. So that closing's getting pushed off. I'm waiting to hear back from the attorneys to see what we need to do next. But
Yeah.
I'm closing on some land today, which is good. And then
Mhm.
I just had to, do you ever feel like, I feel like we've talked about this before, Dawn. Do you ever feel like more so than a real estate agent, you're a therapist? I literally was on the phone with this poor guy today about, I was supposed to be listing his land, and it was supposed to go live today. And he called me crying, and he's like, my wife's taking me to
No.
court. We have to put everything on hold. She's going to take everything from me, blah, blah, blah. I'm so
Oh,
sorry I'm
God.
telling you this. And then he starts like sobbing on the phone. He's like, I literally don't know what to do. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like just breathe.
And
But
he's like,
I,
I
I
can
know what
help.
to I know what to do. Get his wife's number so you can continue to list the property.
yeah, right.
Sounds like he wasn't the seller anyway, so you need to be talking with the real seller. Get the person that's in control that's wearing the pants. So
I know.
sounds
I'm
like you
like,
still have a deal.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like, it threw me totally off. I was like, okay, like I not more so than the situation. Sorry, I got hair all over me. More so than the situation itself was the tears. I'm like, okay, like, what do you want me to do? Go to court with you? Hold your hand?
Yeah. That's tough. That's a
So
tough
I don't know.
scenario.
It just goes like with everything we always talk about, like, and I'm sure Addie with you too, like we wear more than just one hat in this job.
Right.
It comes down to like a whole counseling situation, a support system,
I'm
a
the worst.
reinforcement.
I'm
You're the
Well,
worst.
Eddie has to take care of
Yeah,
clients
like
and agents.
I had a customer call me and he said my wife is divorcing me, and instinctively I said congratulations. Yes. And normally the response to that is yeah, you're right. How lucky, man, you're right. I'm so happy. I'm going to be free or whatever. Just like your guy, he was very distraught, disappointed,
Oh,
and I wanted to feel compassionate, but it's very difficult for me when it comes to being set free. It's like the bird that flies back to the cage. I'm like, there's something there that there. This is look at everything from a positive standpoint.
yeah.
Right. Look at the next step. This is
And I try to push that. And
Yeah.
but this guy was just going to be down no matter what. And so I went back to, I'm sorry to hear.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I was really sorry.
Yeah.
I also had a situation where there's a bunch of family members in an estate trying to sell their family's home. Baby of the family wants to buy it from the siblings. Siblings want the house completely out of the family. So all four of them are calling me because I'll be the listing agent for it, calling me and saying, you know, I have one sister going, he can't buy it. There's no way. And like getting personal. There's no way he can maintain it. I've seen how he lives. That I have the baby of the family calling me going, I don't even care what it's worth. I'm going to buy out my siblings. Like, just do it. And that, like, I feel like I'm just being pulled. And I'm like, you guys, like, I'm just the middleman here. Your family drama, keep it to yourself. You guys can box it out. I don't care what you do.
Sarah's the one who is the peacemaker in the family of 9 kids.
Oh, geez.
So you're good at this.
I don't know if there's much peace being made, but I'm just like, so the other thing, Dawn and I got tarot readings when she was here. And,
you got what?
My tarot card readings.
Have you ever heard of that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and mine said that I need to learn to say no. Because I'm always being like, oh yeah, let me fix the problem. So I was practicing my saying no in this situation. I'm like, no, guys, I'm getting you numbers. Figure it out on your own. No. Good. No.
So did you walk without paying? Did you walk out without paying her?
Who? The tarot lady?
The tarot reading?
Yeah.
No.
Because that would have been my first no. Was I'm not paying you. Thank you for the advice. I'll see you later.
Damn it. I think she took our money first, honestly. She knew better.
Well, that's normally when, like, I've seen people go to those tarot readers and I said, I'm a mind reader too. And they said, yeah. I said, watch, they're going to reach in their purse and take money out and hand it to the person across the way. And that's exactly what happened. And so I really feel like I have premonitions when it comes to that stuff.
I think, I'm feeling it. Like, I think you really know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You are crazy.
Oh, Dawn, what's new on your end?
Fun.
What are you doing?
Okay, so what's going on my end? So actually, I'll tell you a story since you guys were sharing some stories. This involves home lending source.
Ooh, oh boy.
Okay. Oh boy. So we had a closing. This was a couple years back. And we had somebody from Eddie's team helping us, and thank God he was there. So apparently this client, when they did the closing, they didn't disclose how they were going to fund it. So everybody thought it was just going to be financing, right? Well, the day before closing, that was not the case. It was going to be like a 1040 exchange or something. So somebody from Eddie's team just blew it out of the water, got it done, did an amazing job, made sure that closing was going to be done on time. This client wasn't very honest for some of the things that he was doing, unfortunately. So when we got to the closing table, you know, we bring the clients a gift. Both Eddie's team member and I brought the clients a gift. This client,
$5.
$5 gift.
$5 value.
5 and below is my favorite place to be.
All the customers exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
He orders them in bulk.
Oh my God. The audacity of this client. He stands up at the closing, rips me a new one, saying that the communication was my fault.
What?
I was like, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know I was supposed to know how you're going to close your loan.
Right.
You know, you've got to disclose that stuff and be truthful. You fill out the papers at the beginning. So he's like just going off on me. Somebody from Eddie's team stands up, stops him, and says, she is one of the best agents. And this is really what went down.
God.
So he shuts up. And I was like, thank God, you know, so not every closing is peaceful.
No.
Sometimes you have people who just don't, you know, they don't care. They just have a vendetta out to get somebody. And I really felt like that at the time. Like I was just the scapegoat. But it was nice to have somebody else at the closing to kind of defer and like calm the situation down, which was great. I mean, we closed on time. There was no thank yous or anything. It was terrible.
Well,
I was
and the thing is good for you, but because you built your reputation. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like in this line of work, in this business, you're not going to be able to please everybody. No matter what you do, somebody's going to be upset with you, whether it's the buyer, whether it's the sellers. In my case, whether it's one of the attorneys, home inspectors, whatever. There's always somebody that's going to have something negative to say about you.
Right.
I believe it's always the realtor's fault, no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but I feel like we get blamed for it no matter what.
Yeah.
But when you have a good enough reputation, you do your job right, you do your job honest, the right people are
Yep.
going to recognize that. And, you know, the
That's
haters
true.
are going to hate. So it's like,
That's true.
you know, it's
And I
whatever.
channeled you, Eddie, on this one because even though it was a negative situation for me and I felt like I did everything that I could possibly do, I kind of took a step back and said, what can I do better? How can I turn this into a positive? And so, you know, now, like, for every client, I like send out a list on top of Eddie sending out a list of what needs to be done so that so every client knows that, you know, it's, even if they're getting communicated the same thing 3 or 4 times, at least it's there and it doesn't go back on, you know, on me. So it was just, what can I learn from that situation type of attitude that I stepped forward with, you know, and just having one of Eddie's team members there. I mean, he was just amazing, super helpful, kind, courteous, and just
He had your back.
took the stress out of the room,
Mhm.
even though that person was out to get, it felt like he was out to get me. Oh my God. But
Well, and
yeah,
one of the things, like my team knows, especially if you see somebody trying to spark off a Roman candle, which would be a pissed off redhead, you have to interject. You have to jump in because you just have no idea what could set off if Don catches on fire. I mean,
Right.
it could have turned into a really, really big molten lava mess in there. And
Yeah.
so I think I'm sure it's probably Tommy, who's probably one of the most level-headed, calm-minded type of guys. It's times where I have to say, this is where you do have to get mad. And
Mhm.
knowing that we do have that yin and yang relationship, you know, in our office, is we know when the hammer needs to come out. If
Yeah.
somebody is just blatantly being extremely rude or chauvinistic or treating team members bad, we have to politely explain to people that you're not able to do that.
Yeah.
And still be able to maintain that relationship, because the biggest motto when it comes to dealing with a hothead is don't get mad, get the money.
Right.
Yeah.
You can
That's a
get that
great
person to
motto.
closing, and at the end of the day, these are the people that walk up to you at the bar and they go, "Hey man, I just wanted to let you know, a year ago I was a real a-hole to you guys,
Yeah.
and I would like to buy you a drink."
Yeah.
And sometimes it's they may have been the nicest person, and
Yeah.
just being, you know, they say some of the best and worst times is when you're buying and selling a home, which means you're uprooting your entire family, and and you know, new schools, new this, new that, you know, there's just so many things. And
So
so
many.
somebody that would normally be a nice person that would open a door for you, that would walk you across the street, will turn into a raving lunatic and say the most hateful and ungrateful things to
Mhm.
you. And if you can take that, as you say, take that negative energy and just absorb it from them, give them some validation that you do understand where they're coming from,
Yeah.
and then show them the out. You don't
Yeah.
even necessarily have to, you know, because there's obviously times in my life where I just want to look at that customer and just go, "You're an asshole.
Punch
You're
'em.
an asshole.
You're an asshole." But you don't
Yeah.
do that. You don't do that
Yeah.
because you've elected to do business with them, and when you elect to do business with them, that's a sacrifice sometimes that you have to take. Is you're going to be dealing with all the diverse, different personalities. And I think that's the reason they call it retail, because you put your tail between your legs and you make it happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I
agree.
love that because, I mean, a few years ago, I've been in the industry for about 5 years, going on 6. But when that happened, it was like year 2 in real estate, and you're learning as a real estate agent to how to handle these situations. And so for your team member to step in like that and kind of teach, it was a teaching moment, so how to handle the situation, how to cool it down and not, you know, add fuel to the fire. So it was a teaching moment, and I loved it. But yeah,
Woo! Good job.
people are
Wow.
stressed when they're
Wow.
buying houses or selling. It's an intense moment for them. It's the most
And we
amount of
tend
money
to
they'll
block those
ever.
memories out.
Seriously, we do. And I think Eddie hit it right on the head when, when you're dealing with somebody like irate like that or hot-headed, just to look at them and be like, I totally understand how you're feeling. Let's get this going. Let's fix it. Like, because I think sometimes they think that we're just there for a paycheck. I mean, the paycheck's nice, obviously, but I think we need to connect with them on that level. And I understand how you're feeling. I understand that this is so stressful, and I'm sorry that you're feeling like this. I mean, I'm dealing with a pregnant woman right now. I'm dealing with a girl that has to be out of her house by the end of the month, and she's completely stressed out. And they are like, I'm telling you, like every 5 minutes, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything?
Yeah.
I'm just like, listen, I understand the energy and the excitement and the nervousness and all this. As soon as I hear something, you'll be the first to know. I promise. But I'm here. I got you.
So one time, so what we like to do is when we call them nervous Nellies. We obviously have those. Sometimes I'll be in bed at getting up in the morning around 6 o'clock. I have my coffee around 7 o'clock. I call the nervous Nellie before they can call anybody else. And I assure them, I say, hey, listen, I got it this morning. I wanted to let you know that you're at the top of my list. You're the number one situation that I'm working on. And I will touch bases with you later on this afternoon. And even if I don't have an answer by 11 o'clock, I give them that courtesy call, because it literally takes me just a few minutes just to say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I found this. And so what a lot of times what it does is it alleviates that customer from making the phone calls to you guys. Because one of the biggest things I don't want to do is I do not want to take you away from helping the clients that once you've got them under contract and you've gone through the home inspection aspect of it. We want to be able to work with title, make sure that the title company gets the surveying. We want to make sure that the customer picks their insurance. Yeah. One of the things I've always told my team, as I said, if there's ever a time that you want to see me blow up, tell me 3 days before closing, the customer still hasn't picked insurance and they've been shopping for insurance for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you want to hear me lose my mind on you as an employee, tell me that. Yeah. Because there's no reason that a consumer cannot pick an insurance. And I tell them, say, listen, if they want to change it as they get closer to closing, that's fine. But one of the things that we've done that has really helped is we like to get the closing disclosure. So you have your loan estimate and your closing disclosure goes out at initial approval. We're not waiting on a CD anymore. So you'll never hear, Home Lending Source tells us we have to wait 3 days because they just sent out the closing disclosure a day before closing. We have to wait for 3 days. We have the waiting period because we're getting those done ahead of time.
Yeah. Big difference.
That's amazing.
Big difference. I love this session just because there's a lot of good advice for realtors. If you're new to the market, if you're just starting out, I mean, these stories are just really good. So I love this all. You guys are amazing. We're going to get going now. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Any last
See
words?
everybody
Any
next
last
week.
words?
I do.
Any last words?
Yes.
This was my first twin session.
Yay!
Thank you, girls.
It'll be your best one ever.
Yep.
Hey, thank you guys, and a big shout out to you guys in the real estate market. And
thank you. Thanks, Eddie.
Take care.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you very much for joining us. See everybody next week.